Hey guys, in this video, I will be talking about the things you should know about shooting in Valorant. This video is aimed at beginners in FPS and people who want to learn more about firing your gun in Valorant. Veterans are also welcome for a little refresher and maybe even an extra tip or two. Comment down below if I missed something about a mechanic. Thanks. There are three main things to know about shooting in Valorant. 1 is recoil, 2 is movement, and 3 is position. Recoil is a special pattern in a weapon when fired fast enough. Each weapon has its own recoil pattern, although some patterns are similar to each other, like the Vandal and Phantom. This is something you should learn in the firing range and practice for yourself for each gun you want to use. Recoil is reset after a short amount of time in between shooting, and sometimes it's actually better to reset your recoil before going crazy on trying to shoot the next target. The special part about Valorant's recoil is the fact that most guns in Valorant has an alternate fire that gives you a little zoom. When you are zoomed, the crosshair actually follows the recoil pattern. This means that the shot will always be dead in the middle of the crosshair, unlike normally when you have to imagine it for yourself. But beware, there are changes to the gun when zoomed in, like firing slower or firing 3 shots bursts. The martial and the op is not counted. Next is movement. Your accuracy for a weapon changes whenever you try to move. Standing while shooting is the most basic and recommended when you're trying to fire your gun. Next to standing is crouching. This will make your accuracy better and recoil pattern smaller, which means the gun will be easier to control. However, the downside to crouching is that you will be sacrificing your mobility to focus on shooting, which means you yourself will turn into a sitting duck. So crouch wisely. Running or jumping while shooting gives you the least amount of accuracy for most weapons. You'd have to be extra lucky if you want your shots to hit before the enemy hits you. However, there are special weapons you'd want to use if you really have to run or jump while shooting. The shotguns in Valorant are actually still accurate while jumping, while the SMGs in Valorant will have the best chances of hitting something while running. Take note that these weapons are not exactly used for long ranges. Last is walking, which is sort of better than running, but still inaccurate. Crouch walking, on the other hand, is actually almost as accurate as normal, but it's still not as reliable. A special part about movement is something called strafing. Strafing is when you move left or right while still looking at your target. But while you are moving, say, left and suddenly move right, the little stop you make before going to the opposite direction is full on accurate. So make your shots count, as this also works for forward and backward. You can also use this method to stop quicker from moving, so you can start firing as soon as possible. Lastly is position. There are different things to talk about in position. 1 is holding an angle. The farther away you are from the corner you are looking at, the more you will see. Sometimes you might wonder how your enemies saw you without you even seeing them. Well, that's probably because you were too close to the corner, because that's how the perspective works. Also, little tip if you are hiding behind a tight corner. Try to hide your gun barrel It's the first thing an enemy sees, and it's probably sticking out. You can hide this by just looking at the wall little more. Now back to when holding an angle and you stand far. An extra to doing this also makes more of your body hidden behind the corner, which means it'll be harder to hit you. And with the other way around, if you walk far from a corner an enemy might be hiding in, chances are you will see them first before they see you. Another check is your crosshair placement. As much as possible throughout the whole game, make sure you're aiming at head level of where the enemy will be, not at the feet and not at the sky. This makes it easier and gives you a faster reaction for you to hit your target. The amount of time you have to move your crosshair may just be the deciding factor of who wins the gunfight. The last check for position is peeking. Use everything at your disposal to peek a corner. But if all you have is your trusty gun, you have to assume where an enemy is standing and shoot there as soon as you come out. This is called pre-fire. But let's say you don't want to make noise. Though I recommend you don't always walk to peek an angle you know an enemy probably has the advantage of, because the enemy will always be able to react to you first as you slowly creep into their crosshair. Especially when it comes to peeking an enemy sniper. Try to bait the shot first before trying to make an awkward movement like jiggle peeking for a better chance that the enemy will miss you. In conclusion, the best chance you'll get when peeking the enemy is by running by or pre-firing the angle. Not to mention pre-firing asserts dominance, because now you have the angle, they don't. That ends this video. I hope you remember these points when playing in Valorant. Comment down below if you have any extra tips, and tell me what you think about shooting in Valorant. Hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more. Thanks for watching the video. Bye!